Welcome to Customer Dynamics. Today, I'm going to walk you through Velocity and show you how it connects your data, dialing strategy, compliance controls, and omni-channel outreach into one unified platform. Let's start with contacts. This is where everything begins. Velocity allows you to build and manage contact lists, campaigns, and dialing strategies. It also functions as a light CRM, storing historical information based on your retention requirements. When you open a contact record, you'll see both standard fields and fully customizable fields. Beyond basic name and phone number data, Velocity allows you to import extended information such as account balances, loan types, employee data, application status, priority levels, or any operational metadata that matters to your business. This becomes incredibly powerful when building dialing strategies, because that data can directly influence who and when they are contacted, and how they are prioritized. Every contact also includes a detailed activity log. This log captures dispositions, classifications, campaign IDs, segment details, and full historical interaction data. At any time, you can search using any available data field, such as zip code, account status, or loan type, and immediately access matching records. You can add, edit, or remove custom fields at any time. Not every campaign requires every data field. Velocity gives you the flexibility to adapt your data structure to fit your strategy. Now let's move into management. Velocity supports multiple import methods, including file uploads, secure SFTP, and APIs. You can perform bulk edits, removals, and ongoing data management across your contact inventory. Segmentation is where strategy starts to take shape. For example, you can define a segment where loan type equals a specific value and days past due is less than 30. Velocity will instantly return all contacts that meet those conditions. This allows you to create highly targeted dialing strategies based on real business logic. Next is field mapping. This is where your imported data is aligned to Velocity's structure. Standard fields include things like ID, first name, last name, and phone numbers. But you can also map advanced data such as priority levels, consent indicators, opt-out flags, or compliance markers. Velocity can manage large volumes of metadata. That means you can make dialing decisions based on detailed criteria, such as written consent requirements, weekend restrictions, do not call indicators, or any custom compliance flags. This gives you granular control over how lists are built and executed. Next are contact call windows. As compliance requirements expand across states, countries, and industries, managing call timing is critical. Velocity allows you to define customized call windows by region, campaign type, or contact classification. You control when outreach is permitted and how those rules are enforced. Now let's move into campaigns. Velocity allows you to create and manage multiple campaigns simultaneously. Within each campaign, you can start, stop, restart, schedule, clone, edit, or delete. If you prefer not to rebuild a campaign daily, you can simply clear completed contacts and reset it. Campaign dashboards provide performance visibility across voice, SMS, email, and additional supported channels. We're going to start here, which shows our campaign status. This shows our total contacts and the variation from the day before. Here we can also look at the campaign penetration. This shows how many have not yet received a call today, and how many have had different numbers of calls. We can also see how many numbers have been suppressed. Our next area we're going to go to is our call status area right here. This area shows in real time the number of calls in progress and active calls. We can also break down each of the live calls. In the active calls, you'll see it shows all the agents that are on a call and the time that those calls have taken. There is also additional information along with a breakdown of the contact's basic information available to view. If the customer has any custom fields, you can see that under the next tab. You also have the ability to see the activity history of the contact, so we can see how many times you've contacted them and see the outcomes of those interactions. Next we're going to look at the actual suppressions. You'll see it breaks down additional details. It shows from which sources contacts have been suppressed. Next in this section is how many are dispositioning. That's just the number of calls that are in that process right now. To the right we can view campaign events that breaks down the number of contacts in each status. Next we are going to take a look at the upper right corner to look at these graphs. These graphs will show you the different types of dispositions that have occurred. This breaks down into 4 different basic areas. On the left you have agent dispositions that have reached a final state and a retry state. On the right you have the same breakdown but for system dispositions. We also have the category information below that shows the numerical portion of what the graphs display. Now it's time to move to our agent details. It shows the number of calls each agent accounts for. You can expand each agent for additional information on which dispositions they've had with their calls. It can show calls answered, if there has been a sale, and any other relevant disposition statuses. To the right is our inventory section, which shows which specific segments are in this campaign and how they are performing. Here you see that the number available compared to the total is different. That is showing the number of contacts that are out of an acceptable call window or curfew. For retries, the available compared to the total number shows how many are still in a rest period from their last attempt. If you click here, this will show you the amount of calls that are going to be available at different times today and how those different contacts become available throughout the day. Next is the segment penetration, which shows how far through a list you've gone. Lastly, we will look at campaign history. This allows you to see more than a single day's stats. Select the campaign name and date range. You can view penetration, call results, and suppressions for your selected period. Now let's talk about communication profiles. This is where dialing strategy becomes operational. You can control retry ratios versus fresh demand. You can define first in, first out logic. You can prioritize newly updated records. Velocity supports preview dialing, click to call, static ratios, threshold dialing, and dynamic dialing methodologies. Depending on your contact center integration, Velocity can either control dialing logic directly or provide structured lists for your dialer to execute. You also control campaign timing. You can define start times, end times, days of operation, and custom curfews. For example, you might run a campaign from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. All of this is fully configurable. Velocity also supports true multi-channel customer journeys. You can design an outreach sequence that includes voice calls, SMS messages, email communication, and follow-up attempts across channels. This creates a coordinated and intelligent customer engagement experience. Within digital channels, you can build message templates using plain text or HTML. Fields dynamically populate using your imported contact data. That means messages can automatically include names, balances, account details, or any relevant information. You can configure digital profiles with vendor IDs, API credentials, SMS providers, or alternate gateways. If your contact center does not support certain channels, Velocity can integrate with external providers. Now let's talk about suppression. Suppression profiles determine who should not be contacted. You can suppress contacts based on activity history, data attributes, REST service responses, internal do not call lists, or third-party DNC providers. You can build rule groups and validate that suppression logic is functioning correctly. For example, you can suppress specific zip codes during emergency situations, enforce safe harbor dialing rules, or block records based on internal compliance flags. DNC management allows you to upload files, add numbers manually, and maintain internal suppression lists. Next are contact center connections. This is where Velocity integrates securely with your dialing platform. You configure your provider, credentials, server URLs, and any required sub-account information. Once connected, Velocity orchestrates campaign execution based on your defined strategy. Disposition mapping allows you to define how call outcomes are categorized. For example, not interested, not a good time, do not call, or more information requested. Each disposition can trigger specific business logic, such as follow-up scheduling or permanent suppression. Importantly, these configurations are user-friendly. You do not need to be a developer to manage or modify them. Finally, Velocity includes user administration. You can add users, assign credentials, and define permission levels. Access can be set to no access, read-only, or full edit capability. This ensures the right people have the right level of control within the platform. Velocity brings together contact data, segmentation, compliance, multi-channel outreach, suppression controls, and dialer integrations into one flexible and intelligent system. That concludes the overview of Velocity.